Yo, what is up guys, Gray here, and today we have got our week 1 battle of the IBL D-League. We're going up against Sawk and the Minnesota Twin Needles, and first off, if you could hear my girlfriend in the background, I do apologise. I don't know if it's going to be loud enough in the recording, but she is screaming her head off playing Overwatch in the background, so if you can hear that, I do apologise. But anyway, let's get into this team builder. So, different to how I'm doing the PMC, I'm going to do the team builder and the battle all in one video. If I sound tired, I am tired. It's 4 AM over here on, well, technically Tuesday morning, but I forgot to record this yesterday when I was on my day off, and so I'm paying the price now and recording it super late, so it's late and I am probably sounding like shit in this video. But anyway, team builder, let's get around to it. As you can see, his team is on the right hand side of the screen, as is mine. He's got Manaphy, Blacephalon, Gliscor, Klefki, Espeon, Bewear, Serena, Mega Beedrills, Circuitry, Kamala, and Snorlax. Bewear and his Circuitry being his Zmons. For those who don't know, Sawk is very proficient in using that Bewear, and it's terrifying in his hands. So, first thing that comes to mind is that he has 3 normal types. So Hawlucha is a very good bring against his team. It pretty much single-handedly just destroys half his team. Like Blacephalon doesn't take a hit. Gliscor is his best check to it, as Klefki is alright as well. Espeon doesn't appreciate acrobatics, Bewear doesn't appreciate acrobatics or high jump kick. Serena dies, Beedrill dies, Kamala dies, Snorlax potentially can take one, but it's not going to appreciate it too much unless it has a curse up, of course. So you got that, and then you got 2 Tail Glow users in Circuitry and Manaphy, which are both terrifying. Manaphy I think more than Circuitry, but my team with its 3 flying types is a little bit weak to it, to Circuitry, but I don't know. I think the team is going to it's definitely bringing the Manaphy. I believe the Gliscor has got to come as well. Blacephalon, I think he'll bring. Mega Beedrill is decent against my team. It's not bad, it's not great. If I'm running anything Scarf, then it just kills it. Hawlucha will kill it, and Mega Aggron can take quite a few hits from it as well. So whether Beedrill comes or not, I'm not sure, but Bulu kind of just has a great time if it doesn't show up, because it can't come in and revenge kill it. Klefki might turn up. It's a pretty good check to a few of my mons, namely Hydreigon, but then as you can see I got the Fire Blast, so it might not be able to check very well. Snorlax is actually fantastic against my team, certainly expecting that to turn up. And he may bring Bewear, he may bring an Espeon, I don't really know. So yeah, either of those 2 are possibilities, but I'd say that Manaphy, Gliscor, Snorlax, I'm going to say Circuitry is going to be a definite, because he's going to bring it. I've got so many electric type weaknesses. Blacephalon I can definitely see coming, and Klefki would be what I expect. Bewear maybe instead of Blacephalon or Circuitry. Mega Beedrill obviously potential as well. But anyway, getting into my team. First up, I have got a Choice Scarf Hydreigon. I found this to be the best option. It 100% checks Blacephalon, doesn't really matter what set it runs. It cannot be running a Hidden Power Fighting because it technically is a Legendary, and for those who didn't know, Legendaries can't have HP Fighting. It's the one Hidden Power it can't have, because it needs 4 EVs that aren't, 4 IVs that aren't perfect. So yeah, it can't get it. So Hydreigon is a perfectly good check, and that's why I got so much bulk in it. I want to be able to come in and switch in like multiple times in on Blacephalon and just kind of hit something hard. He's not really got much on his team that appreciates a modest Dark Pulse or a modest Fire Blast, especially not something that appreciates the modest Focus Blast. Outside of Snorlax, I can take it quite well. There's very few things on his team that really check Hydreigon very well. So yeah, it just seems like a safe bring. The EVs are there to outspeed, I believe, Mega Beedrill at max speed with the Choice Scarf, obviously. Then I put enough bulk in to be able to switch into a few of his mons, namely Snorlax, Blacephalon. I believe I can take a Ice Beam as well from Manaphy at +3. don't quote me on that. I think that's what I EV'd this to be able to take. And yeah, the rest just dumped into special attack with the modest nature to hit as hard as possible. If he's running a physically defensive Gliscor, I believe that Dark Pulse has a very good chance to hit KO, even through the Toxic Orb. So next up we have got Hawlucha, and fairly standard power herb Hawlucha running Adamant Nature, enough speed. Again, I think this is to outspeed something as Scarfed, I want to say. It might be... I honestly don't know, it might be Scarf Espeon? Something like that. I don't know what the speed is, to be honest. I built this team a long time ago. I'm sure the speed is there specifically for something. It might just be to outspeed Espeon. That's not to outspeed Espeon. What is this to outspeed? Because it doesn't outspeed base hundreds if they're timid or jolly. But yeah, it's there to outspeed something. Great analysis, by the way. And yeah, most of it's just chucked into attack. So let's go for Power Herb over the Grassy Seed this week, because Sky Attack does OHKO a Gliscor at +2 even, with Swords Dance. So if he wants to switch in his Gliscor, a Swords Dance on that switch, as long as he's got something that can Swords Dance up on. And then yeah, next turn Sky Attack has a very good chance to OHKO, and he doesn't have a whole lot to really hit me in return, unless he's running like an acrobatic set maybe. Yeah, there's not a lot. And like I said earlier, nothing on his team really appreciates Hawlucha. Unless your name's Klefki, I guess Klefki can paralyze it, and maybe that's a problem. But if Klefki doesn't turn up, then Hawlucha kind of just goes in. If Gliscor goes down, Hawlucha just wins. Pretty much. That's just it. Next up, we've got a Fiery MZ Sunny Day Victini, and again, if anyone's seen my PTL run, you'll know how much I love this set. This set is something that I used quite prevalently, and it's just a really strong set, especially against this team, because that Manaphy, even if it sets up to +3, once I set up a Sunny Day, it doesn't do that much damage with a Surf. It does hurt, obviously, it's a +3 Surf, but it doesn't do as much damage as it needs to be able to OHKO. Just running max because max speed to outspeed Manaphy. I don't want to be outsped. I say outspeed or speed tie, and the rest just tucked into special attack because I want to do as much damage as I possibly can. So Blue Flare, Solar Beam, Focus Blast pretty much just hits everything on his team. It doesn't hit Blacephalon, but in the sun, Blue Flare actually OHKOs, unless he's running some kind of specially defensive set. I'm fairly sure either Blue Flare will OHKO after rocks, or it just straight up OHKOs, one of those two calcs. There's nothing else on his team. Bewear just gets absolutely terrified of this thing. Yeah, Snorlax is probably his only real kind of check to this. This is why I think Snorlax is coming, because it just checks so many things on my team. It can kind of set up a curse on a few things as well. So next up we've got Bulu, Soul Vest Bulu, one of my favourite sets, with the Wood Hammer launch, Horn Leech even, mixing those two words up, Facade and Nature's Madness. The EVs are all over the place. This is just to get the maximum amount of bulk. I believe I don't get 2 KO'd by Mega Beedrill U-turn with this much defense and HP investment. The special defense, I'm sure, is there for it's for an Ice Beam off of Manaphy. I think a +3 Ice Beam doesn't kill this set, which is kind of wild. And either Horn Leech or Wood Hammer, depending on what range he's at, will kill. Obviously Wood Hammer would then probably kill myself, but you know, you win some, you lose some. You gotta kind of trade off a +3 Manaphy for your Bulu. Facade is there because Klefki, this is my Klefki switch in. If he goes for that and then paralyzes me, if he goes for Thunder Wave and paralyzes me, then Facade will do a lot of damage to quite a few things on his team. And it also hits like Mega Beedrill very hard even without the paralysis. With the paralysis, if he decides for whatever reason he's going to switch in on my Bulu, which is a terrible switch to begin with, but if he decides to do that, then Facade actually just OHKOs. So yeah, a little bit of speed just in case he wants to try and speed creep. Don't want to be speed crept by anything slower than him. Potentially the Bewear, he might try and speed creep, but I don't know. Other than that, potentially Kamala, I think, could outspeed it. Serena definitely has a chance to outspeed. I just don't want to be speed crapped and have Bulu go down to something because I haven't got enough speed. The rest just checked into attack and adamant nature, so those wood hammers do as much damage as possible. Now we have our Mega Aggron, our rock setter for the week, also our dedicated Snorlax check. It's if he's running a Gluttony set with the Figgy Berry curse sort of shenanigans, then Toxic is there and it can just wear it down. If he is running a different set, different kind of curse set, then I have Roar to roar him away if I cannot hit him because he's immunity. So I've got kind of the best checks to both. Running a lot of Speed Def, that's just kind of be able to take some hits from his specially offensive mons. It's because Xurkitree and Manaphy kind of just set up on Mega Aggron, albeit I got Roar to stop that from happening. I would 100% click Roar, just in the off chance they decide to go for like Thunderbolt or Surf or Focus Blast, something along those lines. Then I got enough Speed Def just to kind of be able to tank that hit okay and be able to roll them out. So the rest kind of in defense and attack, a little bit in attack. I think that was to pick up a OHKO or a 2-hit KO on certain things. I think it might be a 2-hit KO on Klefki, and yeah, the rest in defense. And lastly, we have got our Silvery Water. It's kind of a decent check to a few of his mons, especially the Blacephalon, because if Hydreigon goes down, I definitely don't want to have no checks at all to a Blacephalon, especially if it's Scarfed, it just kind of tears through my team. This is also a great check to Manaphy if it decides to set up for +3, because I feel like if he's going to run Manaphy with Tail Glow, he's going to run Water Move, probably Surf, Ice Beam and Psychic, because I have a Tentacruel. And really Energy Ball doesn't hit too much else outside of a potential Silvery Water, so I feel like he's not going to run that, and so I resist 2 of those moves, and the Psychic really isn't doing too much to me even at +3. I think it does about 50% roughly, give or take. I'm going to assume that the special bulk I had in it was so I didn't get 2-hit KO'd, or there's a chance to get 2-hit KO'd but a low chance. The rest is just kind of thrown in defense and special attack. I'm sure it's probably just to pick up certain kills. Running Surf for stab, Thunderbolt to hit his Manaphy in return, hit him quite hard. Parting Shot just to get that kind of momentum, and also to lower potential +3 down to +2, and Defog to remove hazards. And so yeah, that's the team. Again, I'm fully expecting the Manaphy, the Blacephalon, Gliscor, potentially Klefki, potentially Espeon or Bewear, and Snorlax. Mega Beedrill is a outside chance. I think Xurkitree also has a good chance as well. I don't think he'll bring both Tail Glow set up, so that'll be interesting. Maybe Manaphy be bulkier. I don't know. We'll see as we get into the battle what he decides to bring, but certainly his team is scary. There's gonna have to play well around his offensive threats, because his offensive threats are pretty damn terrifying if they get set up. So yeah, I will see you guys in the battle, which will be right now actually. I was about to say it'll be tomorrow, but no, I'm gonna just do team builder and battle all in one video. So yeah, I will see you guys in a second. Okay, so we're here in the battle, and as you can see, he has brought a very different team to what we were expecting. There's no Manaphy, no Snorlax, no Mega Beedrill, and yeah, there's a Kamala. I don't know what he's planning to do with that, but yeah, he's brought a very, very different team to what was expected. The Gliscor is there, the Blacephalon we were expecting, Xurkitree we thought was a chance. Bewear and Espeon, I definitely didn't expect both of them to show up. I thought maybe one of them would on an off chance, but yeah, he's brought them both. And looking at his team, he really doesn't have anything for Hawlucha. Like, once that Gliscor goes down, it's kind of just game. Victini also, he has 0 switch-ins to a Victini. So yeah, this is looking quite nice on team preview. I'm thinking here I'll lead with my Scarfed Hydreigon, because like I said, he doesn't really have much for it. And I'm expecting maybe that Kamala to be specially defensive as something of a check to Hydreigon, but still a Focus Blast is going to be doing a lot of damage to it. And without further ado, let's get into the battle. And yeah, I'm feeling quite confident, I think, going into this one, because on Team Preview there wasn't a lot of the threats that I was expecting. He didn't bring Snorlax, so a lot of his checks to my mons, it's just not there. We lead off our Choice Scarf Hydreigon, as he's going to lead off with his Gliscor. And this is fine. I'm expecting him to stay in, maybe scout out what I'm going for. But actually he switches out. I'm going for a U-turn. I expect him to Stealth Rock potentially there. So he goes out into his Kamala, which kind of shows me that he's going to be either Assault Vest or potentially just a specially defensive set. He takes a good chunk from that U-turn, especially when I'm modest. So that's a negative nature U-turn. That's doing a lot of damage. So I'm just going to go out onto my Tapu Bulu. Looking at the damage, it doesn't really matter what I go for. But I feel like a Wood Hammer, he just has no switches into it. He may switch in his Bewear. Bewear won't be physically defensive for this, but actually he doesn't. He just lets this Kamala go straight down, and that's great. 2 turns into the battle, and yeah, Bulu picks up our first kill of the season, and that's a great start for us. There's less and less checks to Hydreigon, as he actually brings out his Blacephalon. And of course I'm not going to stay in, I'm going straight out into my Hydreigon. It does scare this thing out and 100% checks it, and I can kind of just tell what kind of set he's running off of what he decides to go for here. And he goes for the Flamethrower, and actually shows that that does not do too much damage, but he's actually Life Orb, and Life Orb obviously with the grass terrain around is a very free option for him to go for. And I'm just going to throw off a Dark Pulse. There's nothing on his team that really wants to take it unless he's got Assault Vest Bewear, but again I can play around that. And he actually goes out into his Gliscor, and looking at his damage, it looks like he might be like physically defensive a bit of bulk, but that was a low roll if that's the case. And I'm just going for a flinch here. Instead we actually get the high roll and just take out Gliscor, and his one check to Holucha is just gone, and we're looking like we're in a really good position. He's going to go out into his Circuitry, and I have no interest in taking any moves with my Hydreigon. I've got a Tapu Bulu that I'm kind of more or less just happy to go down at this point. It's done its job, it's kind of checked what it needs to check. He hasn't brought some of the things that it was meant to check. So he actually just shows the T-Wave, and I'm thinking this is a really weird set. I was kind of expecting Z Hypnosis, and if it was Z Hypnosis and he hit it there, then that was going to be kind of scary. But so he decides to switch, and I get to throw off another Wood Hammer on something. So he goes out into his Blacephalon, and despite this being resisted, there is really no resistance when it comes to Blacephalon. It just goes down to a Wood Hammer, and that's one of his biggest threats gone. We take a whole load of damage in recoil, and we're currently 3-0 up as he goes out into his Bewear. And I'm not entirely sure what he plans to do with this. So he just goes for the Protect first turn, and I'm going to throw off Nature's Madness, and I don't expect what comes next. So I should have expected his Sawk to really want to use his Z moves, and as he does, he shows off the Sub-Zero Slammer. Definitely wasn't expecting this, but it makes sense when I got a Holucha that he would run this. So unfortunately we are going to lose our Tapu Bulu here. Spoilers, but yeah, Bulu's going to go down, but it definitely did its job. It picked up 2 KOs, 2 crucial KOs as well. It's put me in a great position to win this game. At this point, Victini does just kind of win, and I should really just press, pull the trigger here and go for a Z Sunny Day. However, I didn't want to expect. I thought that might be Adamant with Earthquake, and Adamant Earthquake had a good chance to kill me with a crit, and I didn't want to push my luck. I knew I could win this game regardless. Just need to play well around this circuitry. I was hoping it wasn't Scarfed with Thunderwave. Thought it'd be a weird set, and if he is Scarfed, then he's very bulky and not speedy. If he's not, then he's just going to get killed by his Blue Flare. And he just goes down and he goes out into his Espeon. And here I maybe should have just clicked the Z Sunny Day button again, but I didn't want to get killed by a potential Spec Shadow Ball. So I go out into my specially defensive check being Silverly, and to preface his next turn, my DS was dying, and I started panicking and not paying attention to what was going on. So I didn't see that I had the Spadef drop, and so this Psychic's going to do a good chunk, and I go for Parting Shot, forgetting that it's got Magic Bounce. And so he's going to Magic Bounce himself out, and I'm going to lose attack and special attack. meaning that any moves I go for now are going to be really weak. And he goes out into his Bewear, and I'm in this position now where my Silverleaf is kind of useless. It's not really done anything of note except for get rid of the Espeon, and I go for a Surf, and there's a decent chunk. The Drain Punch doesn't actually kill me. At this point I should have done a calc and seen that regardless he is not strong enough to be able to come out by Victini, saved my Silverleaf, and gone back into my Victini on what could be a potential Drain Punch. It could be a return, it could be an Earthquake, but I should have calced that damage and seen that I wasn't doing enough. But again, my DS was dying and I could not find my charger to save my life, so back out into Victini we go, and this is going to be pretty much game, because all I need to do is click Blue Flare and hope I don't miss. Because in fact I could have clicked Z Sunny Day again there, but I didn't calc to see how much the Drain Punch did to my Silverleaf, so I didn't know at this point that an Earthquake even with a crit probably wouldn't have taken me out. And actually, as it turned out, he did not have Earthquake at all. He had nothing to hit my Victini, and he goes out into his Espeon. I'm just going to click the Z Blue Flare to guarantee the Oko, unless it's got like a lot of bulk. Judging off that damage, it was going to be like a modest Expert Belt set, and yeah, we're just going to pick up the KO on the Espeon, and we're going to win our week 1 4-0. As going to watch this lovely animation. Victini doing so much damage in week 1. Bulu did a lot as well. Hydreigon, basically I just used 3 mons. Hagron didn't hit the field. Silverleaf hit the field, but kind of I messed up with it. And what was my other one? Holucha, the thing that kind of just destroyed his entire team. Didn't even hit the field through the entire battle. Good game to Sawk. It certainly brought a very different team. Had I not prepped for some of his lower tier threats as well, then I certainly would have struggled against them. The Espeon late game, had I not had the right Victini kind of to deal with it, then certainly it could have been a major problem for my team. But yeah, we pick up the 4-0, go 1-0, and we actually go to the top of the division, top of the league for week 1 with a +4 differential. Nice win. Certainly could have been a 6-0 had I played it a bit better, but hindsight is 2020, and I played my Silverleaf so badly. I just didn't deserve to keep it around. I think at that point I was like, you know what, I've made such a bad misplay that really I don't deserve to keep my Silverleaf at this point. But yeah, next up we are up against OP Jellison and the Toronto Leaf Storms, I want to say. I know it's Leaf Storms, but I can't remember which city it is. But yeah, we go up against Jellison. His team is super scary. We're going to have a tough battle for sure. And if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like. Your support is greatly appreciated. Of course, if you didn't enjoy the battle, then please do give a dislike. I'm sure Sawk will probably be dropping that dislike real quick, but good game again. And I will see you in our week 2 battle. Peace.